You guys think inflation is bad? Wait till you take a look at your hospital bill. Let's look at the total cost spent per patient per year on various chronic diseases. Let's start off with cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease really doubled ever since this low-fat BS craze in the 1980s when they tried to reduce our dietary fat intake and they tried to reduce our meat intake. We doubled our cardiovascular disease. The average spent on patients for cardiovascular disease is $18,953 per patient per year. Now let's look at diabetes, which we actually know is actually reversible with a carnivore-based diet. The average spent on diabetes is $16,752 per patient per year. Now let's get the average spent on Alzheimer's and dementia, which we actually know is contributed by a standard American diet and pharmaceuticals. The average spent on Alzheimer's and dementia is $48,701 per patient per year. Now let's look at the total spent on all patients for these type of chronic diseases. 99% of the nation's $4.5 trillion in annual healthcare expenses are for people with chronic and mental health conditions. And let's look at the total spent on diabetes. More than 38 million adults in the United States have diabetes, and another 98 million adults in the United States have prediabetes, which puts them at risk for type 2 diabetes. Once again, we know that diabetes is actually reversible with a proper human diet and no pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceuticals are making us worse. Let's look at in just 2022, the total estimated cost for diagnosed diabetes was $413 billion per year. Now let's look at the total spent on obesity. Obesity affects 20% of all children and 42% of all adults, putting them at risk for various chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even cancer. 1/3 of all young adults between the ages of 17 to 24 are too heavy to even join the military, to show you how fat and sick we are. Obesity cost in the U.S. healthcare system is $173 billion per year. So folks, our government and these pharmaceutical companies, they're making us sicker and fatter, and even Ray Charles can see that. Let's reduce the inflation and let's do it ourselves. Let's reverse all these chronic diseases and let's put more money back in our pockets. So eat meat, train hard, and let's make America great and healthy again.